Now this morning we're going to be starting off with our conversations with CARICOM, and His Excellency Ambassador David Comissiong joins us to tell us about what's been happening here in Barbados. There's been a ministerial which has been ongoing between ourselves and Guyana since the 18th of this month. They're discussing a number of major issues, and we'll find out exactly what. Good morning to you, Ambassador Comissiong.
Good morning, Wendy. It's a pleasure to be here with you.
Yes, I am happy that you are here, happy to be here with us. Now, we've been talking Barbados and Guyana for some time. It happened at the last heads of government, and now they are in Barbados for a round of talks. Tell me what's happening.
Well, there was a meeting, Barbados-Guyana meeting last year in Barbados, and we drew up something called the St. Barnabas Accord. And then a couple of weeks ago, Prime Minister Motley and a big team from Barbados, we went to Guyana, and we had very extensive meetings with the president and his ministers. And so we added flesh to the St. Barnabas Accord. And now, over the past 3 days, a Guyana team comprising their Minister of Agriculture, Honorable Zulfikar Mustafa, their Minister of Tourism, Industry and Commerce, Honorable Onej Walran, and an extensive team, the CEO of Go Invest Guyana, officials from their Ministry of Agriculture, permanent secretaries. They have been in Barbados, and so we are implementing the St. Barnabas Accord. The St. Barnabas Accord has about 7 thematic areas, but on this visit, we have focused on agriculture and food security. And so a lot of work was done in terms of establishing a Barbados-Guyana food terminal. And that food terminal is going to be located at Lares, and that food terminal is going to deliver to Barbadians a whole range of fresh food products that we will be bringing in from Guyana and replacing a number of the extra-regional imports that we now bring into Barbados. So
And
it is
Ambassador?
going to mean...
Yes.
Yes.
This is an area which Prime Minister Motley is very passionate about. And we're just going to go quickly to an extract to further open up and flesh out for our viewers exactly how much benefit this initiative is going to be to Barbados.
With respect to the return of regionalism, let me pause here to speak, because faced with the limits of what we can do in response to a dangerous and volatile world, regionalism has become even more critical than ever before. And it is therefore fitting that at the same time that what the world offers us has dimmed, what the region is now willing to provide us has brightened. The light has come after a long night. So I can understand that many who hear me today will greet this idea with much skepticism. But I have learned to let actions speak for themselves. Perhaps the best sign of a different region is the regional agreement reached just a few weeks ago with the regional telecommunications companies to offer all CARICOM citizens reduced and capped roaming charges and a plan for their elimination once we can settle on a single regulatory body for telecommunications within the Caribbean community. Mr. Speaker, we have spent much time, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security and myself, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, meeting and working with the President of Guyana and many of his ministers and officials on several joint food production developments. I am happy to report to this Honourable Chamber that the President of Guyana has agreed that he will provide for Barbadian young people 25 new shade houses, prefab shade houses, which will be built and installed at Lares in the new Lares land lease project, and the government of Barbados has equally committed to purchase 25 more of those shade houses, so that there are 50 shade houses for a youth agricultural enterprise initiative to be located as part of the Lares land lease program. We've also agreed with them, Mr. Speaker, for the establishment of a Barbados Guyana food terminal, which will also be located at Lirs, which will see wholesale and retail of produce grown and imported to ensure that we can continue to drive down the prices of food in this country for all Barbadians.
There we have it, Ambassador Comissiong. So not only are we going to be getting the terminal, but we're also going to be getting our young people interested, 50 of them, into the area of agriculture, because you know how important and critical it is to be able to feed ourselves.
Yes, Wendy, it is happening. It's not only talk, it's not only good intentions, it is actually happening. In fact, 5 of our young people will be going to Guyana to be trained in how to manufacture the shade houses. So the shade houses is like an advanced greenhouse. So that's going to be used. So we're going to use them in Barbados to propel our agricultural production. But the big news really is the food terminal, the Barbados Guyana food terminal. And basically what we are doing, Wendy, what Barbados and Guyana are doing is really putting in place the CSME, the CARICOM Single Market and Single Economy between 2 countries. This level of cooperation is going to create between Barbados and Guyana a single domestic space. And so whether it's in agriculture, we are going to be collaborating with Guyana in blackbelly sheep. We don't have the land space in Barbados really to do blackbelly sheep on a really grand scale, but we will be doing it in Guyana using their land space. So we are talking 1 million blackbelly sheep in Guyana. If we had to rear 1 million blackbelly sheep in Barbados, we would need, the whole island would have to be a sheep farm. So we don't have the land. Guyana has the land. And then in the area, we also had the Minister of Tourism and Industry and Commerce, and they are partnering with our Export Barbados and our own Ministry of Industry, led by Honorable Davidson Ishmael. And one of the first projects will be the establishment of a Barbados-Guyana gold exchange or gold market in Barbados. So we will be bringing the Guyanese gold into Barbados. It will, and jewelry, but we will also be bringing the solid gold that will be fabricated into jewelry here in Barbados and sold we are going to set up 1 or more duty-free shops to sell the Guyana gold. So this is not talk. Space has already been identified. Guyana's Go Invest is going to have an office right here in Barbados at the Pelican Village complex. The gold market is going to be established in Bridgetown. Space has already been identified. And also we are going to be introducing to Barbados and to the Barbadian tourism industry, we are going to be providing space at Pelican Village for Amerindian artists and craft people. So the Amerindian culture is going to have a base here in Barbados. The cruise ships do not go all the way down to Guyana and Suriname. So the cruise ship passengers in particular are going to be able to get a taste of the Amerindian craft and culture right here in Barbados. And we're going to be introducing the Amerindian heritage to our Barbadian people, because up to now we have not really acknowledged our own Amerindian heritage. Barbados was named Ichiruganim, the Amerindian name, and they were the original owners of the country. So on this trip, we focus on agriculture, we focus on the precious minerals, we focus on commerce, but there are other areas. There's technical and vocational training, there's manufacturing, there's housing. So there are a range of areas that between Barbados and Guyana, we are going to have a partnership. We're going to put it in place. Prime Minister Motley has appointed a special envoy, Miss Althea Wiggins. She's the special envoy to Guyana and Suriname. So she is often on the ground in these two countries, making the links and helping to make things happen. On the
So,
Barbados end, myself, Mr. Mark Hill, CEO of Export Barbados, Ms. Kay Ann Braffett, CEO of Invest Barbados, we are charged with ensuring that the implementation does in fact take place. And we are on our way.
we are really deepening those relations, and that's wonderful to know. Now, the aspect that I'm interested in is the technical know-how sharing in terms of the young people we're going to be sending in and the other areas. I'm just wondering if, along with the agriculture, if we're also going to be sending some of our jewelers in so that they can perhaps firsthand learn about how to better handle the precious metal coming out of Guyana and how their goldsmiths deal with it. Because we would be accustomed getting the gold from other sources. But, you know, people always say Guyanese gold is that much richer in terms of being able to handle it. So will there also be technical share in that area?
Yes, Wendy, I think you have been peeping in on our meetings because yes, Guyana actually has a school of jewelry making in Guyana, and we will be sending a number of our jewelers, our young aspiring jewelers to Guyana for training, and part of their training in Guyana is part of it is apprenticeship. So they will pair you with an experienced jewelry maker as well in Guyana. So yes, that is going to be happening. And the Guyana also has a school of agriculture. We will be benefiting from that. There's cooperation in technical and vocational education and training. We'll be looking at the construction trades, you know, welding, carpentry, joinery. We will also be looking at the renewable energy sector because we are going to collaborate on training persons to install and maintain solar and photovoltaic panels. So a whole range of interactions and partnerships between the two countries. And, you know, we have to give full credit to Prime Minister Motley and President Mohamed Irfan Ali of Guyana, because they have really come together in a very strong partnership. And Barbados and Guyana, the cooperation that we are doing now is going to set a very, very positive example for the rest of CARICOM as to exactly what can be done, what can be achieved. Tourism, we are looking at how we twin the two destinations, how we jointly market both Barbados and Guyana. So there are persons who may wish to come to the Caribbean to have both the traditional white sand tourism vacation that they can have in Barbados, as well as the eco vacation that they can have in Guyana, and they can have the two-in-one. We're going to be encouraging Guyanese to come to Barbados for vacations, and likewise Bajans to go to Guyana. We are going to be, Prime Minister Motley has said that we have to reduce the cost of the airfares between Barbados and Guyana. And so we're going to focus on seeing how we can remove some of those taxes that are on the airfares between the two countries. And we're also going to look at...
How far along are those discussions? Because that's something of interest to us all
in
now.
fact, I would say that those
the cost of travel,
yeah,
you know, it's a concern. Okay.
Yeah, I would say that the area, kudos to the people in tourism, because the people in tourism are the ones who probably got off the mark first, and so they have already set up their structures to implement the tourism related aspects of the St. Barnabas Accord. So they already have their tourism working group in place. Honorable Senator Lisa Cummings. So yes, that work is already advanced.
Okay. Now,
It is
today's the
all looking
final.
very, very positive.
It sounds that way to me. Now, today's the final day for the meeting here. And will there be anything special in the wrap up? Or are we, what kind of send off are we going to be giving them?
Well, we already had our concluding meeting yesterday at the Hilton Hotel. And that was followed by a social event. And so, in a sense, we have concluded the visit with all the relevant formalities. Today, the Guyanese delegation will just be traveling out of Barbados. Some would have left, in fact, yesterday. But so that delegation is going, but we are getting ready. In fact, we are having a planning meeting this morning at 10 o'clock to welcome a private sector delegation that is coming into Barbados. And that's another important part of the accord, because the accord envisages that the Barbados and Guyanese private sector will be working together to exchanging personnel between the various chambers of commerce. We are exchanging personnel at the ministries of agriculture. There will be a couple Guyanese officers at our Ministry of Agriculture, a couple of our Ministry of Agriculture officers at their Ministry of Agriculture in Guyana. So the private sector delegation is coming. There will be a massive Guyanese participation in our AgroFest this year in May.
Oh, that's wonderful to know.
Yes, over 100 exhibitors, possibly.
Okay.
And we will also be going to Guyana in May to take part in the agricultural investment event that is being organized in Guyana. So
okay, well, maybe next
it's an
Monday,
ongoing process.
Yeah, next Monday we can look at some of those other areas that we're looking to flesh out. We're unfortunately out of time. Always a pleasure talking with you, Ambassador Comissiong, about all that is going on within CARICOM and how Barbados and the others stand to benefit. I wish you a wonderful morning.
Thank you, Wendy. It was a pleasure.